What's up, YouTube? It's time for a review of the new Zara Larsson record, So Good, out last Friday, March 17th. So Zara Larsson didn't exactly have a lack of momentum going into this record. This thing is arriving on the heels of a few major hit songs. So it's had quite the runway between songs like Never Forget You, I Would Like, So Good, and of course Lush Life. Like a lot of people, statistically, I fell head over heels for Lush Life when it came out. I would call it a guilty pleasure, but I don't really believe in those. It's bubbly, it's irresistible, it's just overflowing with sassy energy. And it hasn't lost an ounce of its appeal in the long time it's been out. Like, this song has been out almost 2 years now. On one hand, the lyrics to Lush Life are pretty dumb and vapid, but I think part of the appeal is that all that goofy talk about summer and crushes just invokes this sense of youthful exuberance, which makes me sound and feel 1,000 years old when I say that. But personally, I think that's the chord the song strikes with me. It's just that immature, carefree side that none of us wants to entirely let go. And it's fucking catchy. Like, we don't need to overthink things here. And in terms of other singles leading up to this record, I've really been enjoying I Would Like. It's definitely one of the better dance floor tunes that's out there right now, like in the sense that when it comes on in a bar or club, I'm actually relieved because it's so much better than the alternatives. Like, the Chainsmokers just make me want to Greg Louganis right onto a highway. So I'm glad this song caught on because I actually enjoy it when it comes on in that environment. That hook just gets stuck in my head for days at a time. Like Lush Life, this song is fun and light on its feet. It has a dance pop instrumental that's as memorable as any of Zara's singing, so you have the 1-2 punch going there. So this young Swedish starlet has definitely piqued my interest, and I've been anxiously awaiting this record in the hopes that I get an album full of jams. Diving right into the album here, one deeper cut that I'll immediately single out that definitely continues this winning streak is the song Don't Let Me Be Yours. It has a sweet, savory hook over this spunky dance instrumental courtesy of pop powerhouse Steve Mack. I really like how this song flicks the power switch on and off, in the sense that it has these subdued verses with very minimal percussion, just some perky, clean guitars and Zara's voice, and then everything suddenly brightens up for a fun hook, and comes down again. So it's a nice sense of dynamics here. Two of my other favorite tunes on the record are actually when Zara goes into a bit of ballad mode. One such instance is the song Only You, which slows things down to more of a gentle pulse. And the minimal production in the verses really gives Zara and her voice center stage. She's not sharing the stage with a jittery dance beat or anything. It's just her, some clean guitars, and this peculiar kind of airy sample. But what totally makes this song for me, even though they're actually mixed back a bit, are those big, bright synths in the chorus. I just love those. They really give this song just a little dose of cheesy 80s movie soundtrack, which is a nice change of pace from a record that is so of its time. And in the final chorus, Zara gets to flex her pipes a bit, which is great. I mean, the girl has actual singing talent, which plays a huge role in helping these simple pop songs go over well. Her impressively elastic voice is something that she also showcases on the track Funeral, another ballad-type number, very dramatic, wide-spanning melody here. I mentioned earlier how Don't Let Me Be Yours transitions from subdued verses to banging chorus. Well, Funeral flips that on its head. Funeral's got this sort of tropical summer night dance pop groove in the verses, and then the chorus is where the tears get shed, which a sweeping string section later comes in the bridge to firmly establish the melancholic mood of this song, but I enjoy the journey to get there. Both these songs really showcase Zara's vocal chops, but the more I listen to her, the more and more I feel like she's just begging to be on the next massive crossover EDM song. Like Sia, she's just perfect for that. To the point where hearing her on these sort of dance-infused but not really instrumentals drives me kind of nuts. A big bummer in this category for me is the song Ain't My Fault, which was also a pre-album single. Just her voice in the chorus here is just begging to be on an EDM anthem. The way everything swells up and her voice just soars over everything, that deserves an epic progressive house drop, not this cheap, goofy, screeching beat. It's almost like a waste of her voice. If you don't believe me, just listen to Rehab's Trap remix of this song. I'll link it down in the description. It is one of my favorite EDM jams from last year, and it's a way better use of her vocal performance here. So I have kind of a heaven and hell relationship with Ain't My Fault, because I do love her voice on it, and I love the build, but the drop frustrates me because I've heard how much better it could sound in a purely dance music context. Never Forget You is the other track that really frustrates me in this fashion. This one has a drop that's basically like if the Bieber Skrillex Diplo jam Where Are You Now got microwaved. This song conforms to that kind of annoying trend in pop music right now that's become known as the pop drop, which I got another link for you. I'll link it down in the description, a great Billboard article on the evolution of the pop drop. But this is another instance where this song's banger potential gets undermined by this sort of lightweight, cheap, derivative pop drop. And unfortunately, this leads me to a larger issue on So Good, which is the difficult to ignore trend hopping that goes on all over this track list. First, there's the pop drops. Then there's horror of all horrors, a dancehall type song called Sundown, which is a remarkably forced collaboration with WizKid, the same person who helped make Drake's One Dance a high-grossing torture device for the past year or so. Then towards the end of it makes use of that irritating pitch shift trend in pop music right now, where you basically take the pitch and launch it like even past Kanye's Chipmunk Soul to the point where it's just a piercing noise. So a big strike against this album for me is that it kind of sits and just soaks up the current musical landscape rather than making an independent statement. And you know, I didn't expect poetry, but the lyrics on this album are so nauseatingly juvenile and shallow and sometimes unnecessarily sexual. Like, Only You is a good song, but I can't get past the fact that it's basically about how she finally fucks a guy whose dick satisfies her more than masturbating. Like, that's what it's about. No one touches me like I touch myself. Which, yeah, you're a teenager and you're probably banging other teenagers, so that's not a shocker. And Sundown, that's basically about how she wants to fuck in the daytime because she just is too horny to wait till the nighttime because I guess daytime fucking is unconventional. I don't know. It's pretty silly if you ask me. But the worst offender is the song I Can't Fall in Love Without You, which is such a shame because this is a nice, tender, piano-driven tune that I really enjoyed up until the second pre-chorus where she just ruins it for me. Just ruins it. It's such a bummer because I like the theme here otherwise, the theme of needing someone. The fact that no matter how independent or self-sufficient you are, falling in love takes two. I think that's a sweet theme. But then in the second pre-chorus, she says, "Don't you think I give a fuck? Give a fuck about who you fuck. I hope you can't get it up." So in the middle of this pleasant tune, she just angrily wishes erectile dysfunction on an ex-lover, or whoever she's addressing here. Seems a little harsh, doesn't it? A little uncalled for. Totally doesn't fit the vibe of the song. And again, just kills the whole song for me. The worst lyrics actually come from Ty Dolla $ign in the title track, where he muses about beating that thing up and giving her that dope D and all kinds of new ideas, which I definitely haven't heard in hip-hop a million times. Believe me, I have nothing against raunchy, sexually charged lyrics. I'm pretty sure my first kiss or my first something was to Akon's I Wanna Fuck You. Like, I understand that it's become a cornerstone of pop music. But here, those lyrics just feel kind of out of place. Like, there's these fun, lighthearted songs that then just inject this unnecessary innuendo. It's not like the beats are begging for something like this. And it just feels like this album's trying to be edgy and innocent, if that makes sense. But you can't be Ariana Grande and Carly Rae Jepsen. It's kind of water and oil. And unfortunately, this album feels so singles-driven. Like, the singles are really what stand out here. Lush Life and I Would Like and Ain't My Fault, they feel like the pillars holding this thing up. And not only does this record feel singles-driven, but since it's so 2016/2017, I'm not sure about its staying power. Like I said, it reeks of trends. And unfortunately, Zara's, at least right now, one of those kind of faceless pop artists where you could hear her in clubs or bars or on the radio for weeks and weeks and not even know it's her. That happened to me with I Would Like. But I did enjoy a solid handful of tracks on here, and I'll be continuing to enjoy them as fun, standalone tunes. But as a whole, this wasn't the pop juggernaut that I had hoped for. So Good gets a 5 out of 10 for me. As always, thanks so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe, leave a comment, or shoot me a message so we can continue to talk music, and I'll see you guys soon.